Hey guys, today we're gonna actually be doing something a little different than like normal BTD6 content. I'm gonna do a what if video about abilities and what if every path of every monkey had an ability. So first, Dart Monkey. Dart Monkey's Plasma Monkey fan club is not really good, and it really does need some more options. So my idea for Ultra Juggernaut is for the Ultra Juggernaut to shoot very, very quickly and spawn in a lot of Juggernaut balls all over the map. That would be really amazing for it, and it would really be good. Now, Crossbow Master, his ability should basically let him get full map range and have a lot of pierce. You know? He'll be similar to a sniper, but with with better pierce and stuff. Really amazing. And then the Plasma Monkey fan club, you know about them. But we're gonna also include Paragons. So for Apex Plasma Master, I would make an ability for it to turn all of its fellow Dart Monkeys into T5s for a couple of seconds. Now, I know it could be overpowered, but it would choose which one would be like the T5. So if you made this the Paragon, the Apex Plasma Master would turn everything around it into a Plasma Monkey fan club. And then those get the abilities, and yeah. Or you could choose Ultra Juggernaut, which would turn them all into Ultra Juggernauts. And I feel like this would be a really nice idea because it would be more leaning to support, and also it would make sense why this boy has the supportive ability of turning monkeys around it into super monkeys. Now, next up, we got Boomerang Monkey. Boomerang Monkey has a pretty good ability. It's not bad, but it could definitely use some work. So first thing, we're gonna start off with the Glaive Lord. Glaive Lord is amazing. I don't know what to say, but maybe we could do an ability. You could do an ability where it would make all the rotating glaives turn big and spin around faster, like faster than usual. And then for the Moab Domination, I think it should be able to do extra damage to BADs. Extra damage. I know it already does extra damage to Moab class balloons, but it would also help it in the late game. Because if it's in the mid game, that's only where this guy is really good and he really shines. The late game, it doesn't have much of a purpose, but this could help him do a lot more things with his abilities. And then for the Glaive Dominus is supportive, and I think the ability should be more similar to the Permacharge, because Permacharge is not a bad ability. So it should just make monkeys around it that are primary attack faster, and yeah. And it would be more of a supported tower, since all the primary monkeys also get buffed by this guy. So yeah, that's my idea. Now for the Bomb Shooter. The Bomb Shooter has an amazing ability, yet again, because Ninja Kiwi knows how to do abilities on some towers. But if you think I'm gonna do something for the Moab Blitz, nah, because it already has its own ability. But I'll just include it just in case y'all want something. But basically, Balloon Crush would actually do what this thing looks like it would do. It would spawn a giant bomb like at a target you choose, and it would blow up the whole entire map, similar to the Pop and All, but it would actually do extra damage to normal class balloons, and it would stun the entire map. Now, I know it's taking inspiration from the mortar, like a lot, but it would really be nice. Now, next off the Moa Blitz, you just give it the ability that it already has, where if you lose lives, the bomb storm automatically triggers, which destroys all but the biggest balloons, I mean. Next up, we got the Tack Shooter. Now, don't get me wrong, I made an entire video about how this guy's ability is overpowered. And that's why the Blade Maelstrom is really good, actually. But I think with the Inferno Ring, the ring around the Inferno Ring, it should make, like, basically the meteor becomes bigger and it would attack the balloons way quicker and do more damage. That would be really nice for balloons, like if there's a rush round or there's something bad. But also the Blade, the Super Maelstrom would also take care of that. And the Tack Zone, I don't have a really good idea for it, but what it could do, it could probably be more of a help because of its name, the Tack Zone. If you put Tack Shooters in his range and then activate the ability, it will make them attack more fast, causing a lot of damage. And for the Crucible of Steel and Flame, he has 2 abilities, so I don't need to make one. So, yeah. Alright, now Ice Monkey. Absolute Zero. The ability is not that good. The Ice Monkey itself is not the best. But the Absolute Zero, it's not bad for new players. It's just that it's not really good. And I think the most underrated is the Icicle Impale. Anyway, stopping about opinions, let's talk about the abilities. The abilities, this guy, like Super Brittle, would stun all Moabs up to ZOMGs, and it would make them stunned, and it would make them more brittle because the name's Super Brittle. So basically, it's like if he attacks just with a global range. And for Icicle Impale, I think it should make this guy attack, like this guy's ability. It would spawn in a huge icicle. It would go through everything, including BADs. It would make a giant hole in them, and then it would make them like similar to Sada. It would give them, like a bleed over time ability thing, and it would also make a weak point where normal monkeys can crit everything, like if they attack. No, that would make this guy really more of a support. But I'm happy with that because he is supposed to be a support, Next thing, Glue Gunner. Now, Glue Storm is not bad. It's actually pretty nice. But there's so much that could have been done. If the Balloon Solver was the middle path, it would get such a good ability. I think the Glue Solver should basically, it's very similar to the Glue Storm. It would also make things rain out of the sky. But we don't want to copy too much, so I'll try to make a new one. And that new one is that if anything gets in the range of the balloon solver while this ability is active, it would just solve all the balloons and it would just pop them. And then for the super glue, it would have an ability where it literally immobilizes all effective balloons in its range, considering the description. But yeah, it would also make BADs and under take more damage, like a weakness effect. It would be really nice. And Desperado, the newest edition. Desperado has an amazing ability, unlocked at level 3, like the Super Monkey. That's actually really amazing that they're interpreting that you don't have to get level 4 to at least have an ability. But what I think would happen with the Blazing Sun, it would literally just make Heat Up. It would do it like what Heat Up does, but just stronger, way stronger. It would just delete everything in this radius. And for the Desert Phantom, it would use a lone ability. If there is no towers in its range, then it would do maximum damage. Maximum extra damage. But if it has fellow Desperados around it, it would help them. It would be like more of a support. Now, he works best alone, but he can help if there is friends nearby. And I feel like it's not that good of an ability, but if you want me to propose a different one, I think it should make every balloon on screen stunned, and then it would just shoot them all. You know, like the bounty hunter, but it stuns him. Alright, next up, Sniper. Sniper has an ability where he drops a crate, and yeah. So basically, my idea for Cripple Moab would cripple all the Moabs. It would not make them be able to move, and yeah, it would really stun them. And then Elite Defender, he already has an ability. It gains 4 times attack speed briefly on losing lives. Anyway, next thing, the Narc Siege Core. Submarine Monkey. So Energizer, it would basically make basically make a radiation wave around the entire map, where balloons slowly take more damage. The more balloons in its radius, the more damage they take. And if they're longer in its radius, it starts to hurt them, what radiation would do to a normal human being. That's why X-rays aren't very dangerous to the people that always work in the X-ray machines. Anyway, Sub-Commander. I feel like Sub-Commander should have a commanding ability where it would help his fellow units. And I think any unit that is placed in water, including Pat Fusty, yeah, I just want to help buff a hero. I don't know why. But they would basically all have increased range, attack speed, and attack damage. That would make the Sub-Commander really good. Now, Narc Siege Core has an ability already, so we can skip over him. Monkey Buccaneer. The Buccaneer has a really good ability with its, the Pirate Lord. It's really nice. If you're a new player, it's really good. The Carrier Flagship, I think it should just spawn a lot more airplanes and they would attack way like more. Like they would shoot out more like shots. It'd be really nice. Now, the Trade Empire, it'd be similar to the Sniper Monkey's ability, where he drops a supply drop, but it would take more time. Like, give it like 10 seconds, because like they're trading, you know, it's a trade. Trades don't happen instantly. And yeah, that's it. The Naval Curve of the Seas also has its own ability, so we'll be skipping over that. Now, Shredder Bomba, that is actually such an amazing ability, but I don't use them. I don't know why. So, starting off with the Sky Shredder, I think he should get the abilities of a never miss targeting, where he would just like target all the balloons. It would literally just like annihilate them. All of them, one by one. Now, the Flying Fortress. I think he should have a bigger explosion radius, and it will give a buff to nearby, like, flying towers. And it would just be more of a support type of option. And the Goliath Doomship has its own ability, so we'll skip over that again. Now, for the helicopter. So the Special Operations has actually 3 abilities. And that already by itself is probably the highest amount, excluding Super Monkey, which has like 2 separate abilities. Actually, yeah, it does have more abilities. Anyway, Helipilot. Helipilot for Apache Prime, I think it should be more of an attack-based thing. So the Razor rotors do more damage, and also make the balloons bleed out like Sada does. And the missile should have increased explosion radius, so it can pop more balloons easily, and it would have an AoE factor. And Comanche Commander, it automatically calls in 3. He has an ability by himself, but I will make an ability because this guy really needs one. So he would spawn in more like pilots on command, but you can't surpass the amount of pilots you have when you really need it, you know? Anyway, Mortar Monkey. He has the popping on, that's really good. Now, the biggest one, I think its ability should be like the Nautic Siege Core, where it would make a nuke that would like get the entire map, but it would do way less damage than the Nautic Siege Core. You can't make it that OP. The Balloon Incineration. Now, it would do more damage to Moab class balloons, and the fire damage would be like ticked up maybe like 30% more. It would do more damage, and the fire, it should really be also buffed, and it would make like the fire from everything, including Gwendolyn and like Wizard Monkey, do more damage. Now, it would be more of a support type, because that's what I'm aiming for here, because Signal Flare, Shattering Shells, and Balloon Incineration are trying to be like more of a support type Mortar Monkey. They do their job good, like they do their job, but yeah. Anyway, up to the Dartling Gunner. Dartling Gunner has the MAD, and his ability is really nice. I love it. A Ray of Doom now. Its ability would open up the sides of its weapon, and it would just make like the entire map like just filled with rays of doom. Like that would be really nice, but they wouldn't do as much damage as the actual Ray of Doom. And now the balloon exclusion zone, it's not really used because like MAD and Ray of Doom are way better. But I want to give him a more OP ability, so because he is actually pretty good. Not pretty good, but like he deserves to get something. So I've thought of, he also does something similar to the Ray of Doom, but he also gets more damage on nearby Dartling gunners, and anything in its range gets popped slowly, like Malevolence on like Corvus. It would do more damage over time, and it will also be like the the monkey sub with the Energizer. You do like way better things because it's called a balloon exclusion zone. So you should have a zone that excludes balloons. Now the Wizard Monkey. Wizard Lord Phoenix is really nice. He does his job really well, and it's a really nice ability. Alright, for the Archmage, I think he would summon a lightning bolt that would electrocute the Moab class balloons. It would make them do more damage, like anything nearby. Anything attacking the Moab would do extra more damage. So he would get like the Moab would get more damage into him, and it would pop easily. No, the Prince of Darkness, I don't think he needs an ability because he already kind of has its unpopped army. But if I need to give him an ability, I think it would raise a big Moab, like BAD, that could target anything, DDTs, BADs, but it would not be as much damage as a BAD would have. So it wouldn't be that OP. That's not what we're aiming for. And the Magus Perfectus already has an ability, so skip over him. Now, we only have to do for the True Sun God. I think he would just make an entire Ray, like he would spawn the sun in the middle of the map, and it would just burn all the balloons, and it would be like really cool. And Anti-Balloon has its own ability, and the Legend of the Night. But Legend of the Night's ability, it is trash, but he also has another ability where he spawns in a black hole. Anyway, the Grand Saboteur is not very bad. It's not a bad ability, but I don't like it too much. Okay, so let's start off with the Grandmaster Ninja. You would summon loads of shurikens to attack the balloons, and they would do more damage than the normal shurikens, and they would be like cool, you know. Next up, we have the Master Bomber. His ability, I think it would just make him be able to put a bomb on the BAD, and it would explode, popping all the balloons around it and Moabs. It would be really nice. For the Ascended Shadow, I want that ability, but just like stronger. It strips camo. It also puts caltrops on the ground, and it should also do more, like it would have more shurikens in its hand. It would be like all the three like main types of things like in the thing, and I think that's how all Paragon abilities should be. Next up, we got the Alchemist. He already has Total Transformation, but that's basically the Dart Monkey's ability, just like worse. So Permabrew, I think Permabrew should heal everybody in like them on the map. So if you placed all your towers near him and you couldn't get like one tower in, it's fine. He'll just buff them. And he drops like a big bucket of perma brew, and all of the balloons would be soaked in it. And the balloons don't like perma brew because it buffs the monkeys. That means it slows down the balloons. Now, the balloon the balloon master alchemist, he turns things into red balloons, and I think his ability should be to like turn every balloon around him into ceramic balloons, because if we made it all red balloons, it would be way too easy. And also, you should get more money if you pop those balloons. Anyway, next up we got the druid. Now, Spirit of the Forest ability, he actually has two abilities. The first one is where he makes money, and the second one is where he creates a blast of thorns. Like he makes like the thorns on the ground like blow up, you know. So first thing, Superstorm. Superstorm would just like take everything back to the entrance, everything on the map, even BADs, and it would be really useful in the late game. And for the Avatar of Wrath, oh boy, I got a plan for him. He would burn all the balloons in his, like, if attacked, all the balloons would burn because of his wrath in the eyes, and nearby Poplusts would turn into avatars of wrath. It would really be nice, really good, but the cooldown should be very long for this boy because that's way too strong. Maybe a minute, and you can't make it very short because that's not how it should work. And now the Mermonkey. Mermonkey's Poseidon has a really nice ability, and I'm not gonna lie, it would be really good. But let's start off with the Lord of the Abyss. Alright, so he would buff like all Mermonkeys, and he would give them all Krakens to attack them like the balloons and stuff. Now, second thing, we have the Final Harmonic. Final Harmonic, it would basically make all the balloons on the map spin in a big circle. In a really big circle. And every tower should be able to attack it, in range or not. Now, next up, we got the Banana Farm. Monkeynomics, it's a horrible ability, I'm not gonna lie. It just puts you into debt. Now, Banana Sensual, its ability would make it produce more grapes, and any type of banana farm in its range would make more money, and also make more production. And for the Monkey Wall Street, he should just be able to collect all the the bananas. Actually, I'm trying to think back. He should probably have infinite range, so he can collect all banana farms, like bananas inside of the infinite range, but it would only be limited. So everything would be automatic at that point. But if you stop using the ability would just everything would be back to normal. Everything is manual. Now, I'm saying that because he collects money. Like, he collects every single banana in its radius. So that would just be like an ultra buffed banana farmer, or like a Monkey Wall Street, and it would be really good. Now, Spike Factory. The Carpet of Spikes is a good ability, but it's not like that utilized, you know? Sometimes people use it, but not all the times. So, first of all, Super Mines, it would make the Super Mines shoot super fast, and once it finishes production of all the spikes, it would blow them all up and pop all balloons and do massive damage to BADs. And for the Perma Spike, I think the Perma Spike should make like every spike it has permanent, and also like other things like Spikes Infinite. So basically, if you have Carpet of Spikes, they wouldn't go in 1 round, they would go in 3 rounds, and Supermine's same for the Carpet of Spikes. Mega Munitions Factory has like 2 abilities, so we don't need anything else. For the village, the first thing, Homeland Defense, such a great ability. I love it. So first thing, let's start off with the primary expertise. The primary expertise would make every primary monkey do like a lot more damage. It really helped like buff them. And for the ballista, the ballista would be like bigger, and it would pop. It would do like more damage to Moab class balloons. And for the Monkeyopolis, all nearby banana farms would have increased production, and it would also auto collect every single banana like nearby it. All right, for the engineer monkey, Sentry Champion. First of all, it would spawn in a lot more turrets, and you could be able to choose it. Like, should it spawn a lot of red turrets, but like it would be like Sentry Paragon turrets and Sentry Champion turrets. It would make a lot of them, and they would be specialized in all of like the 4 things, like the laser, the frost, the energy, and the boom, like sentries. They would basically make them like a Sentry Champion. Alright, next up, we got the XSL Trap. Now, his ability would make all nearby balloons get sucked into the trap, including BADs. So, basically the same, but he can now like put BADs in the trap. And the Beast Handler. Beast Handler is really good. The Gargantusaurus is kind of not that good, gonna be honest. I don't use it that much, but I don't think it's really good. First off, let's start with the Megalodon. The Megalodon would be very huge, and it would attack like all mobs, and it could pull in BADs, and it would just do more damage overall. Now for the Palkai, it would make the bird be able to carry Moab class balloons, including BADs, and it would really it would also make them weaker, like the earlier towers. And that's all. That's what I think every monkey should, every path should get, for abilities. That's the end of the video. Please like and subscribe. Bye.